The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is supported in part by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, conserving the wild things and wild places of Texas thanks to members across the state.
Additional funding provided by the Toyota Tundra. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support outdoor recreation and conservation in Texas. Adventure is what we share. Funding also provided by Academy Sports and Outdoors, helping hunters, anglers, and outdoor enthusiasts of all ages get outside. Out here, fun can't lose.
Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
The ovens came west with the pioneers.
A quick and easy way to use the coals from your fire to make an oven out of a pot.
I am the 4th generation, and I think that's really special that through all the hard times and hardships that we've been able to keep it together as a working ranch.
I like to challenge myself in a lot of situations, to test my limits and see what I can do.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, a television series for all outdoors. On a crisp February morning at Cleburne State Park, south of Fort Worth, a group arrives to get set for their monthly meetup. While they have an almost religious devotion to their gathering, this is not a church group. And while they share some specialized knowledge, it's no secret society either. In fact, sharing their secrets is part of why they gather. These folks are members of the Lone Star Dutch Oven Society.
That's probably good right there.
The Chisholm Trail chapter, to be precise, and they are preparing for a dog.
When we get together, it's called a dog, a Dutch oven gathering.
That just means they're about to fix lunch.
We cook and we eat and we talk about cooking and eating.
Should be really good when it comes out.
The Dutch oven is a cast iron cook pot, but not just any. It holds a special status in Texas, shared with the bluebonnet, the mockingbird, and the pecan tree, among other icons. The legislature even named it the official cooking implement of the state of Texas, in case you didn't know we had one of those.
They burn really well.
Lavoy Oates is about to make the official state food in his.
We're gonna be cooking chili. My wife can't eat real spicy chili, but she's not here today, so I'm gonna spice it up a little bit. Yeah.
When the cats are away.
That's it. I mix all that up. Then add a little cayenne pepper in this one here anyway. But we don't add beans to it. No beans.
You're in Texas.
That's right.
So it's called chili with beans. Chili don't have beans, but this is chili with beans.
That'd be good. It's just a Texas thing.
You're right.
Because some people kind of get upset being in Texas, you don't add beans to your chili.
Every third Saturday, we just get together and cook, and it's just something that we do just for fun.
Step aside diets and make way for the casserole.
We're cooking chicken Alfredo casserole, chicken cordon bleu casserole.
It's just a beanie weenie casserole, chicken enchilada casserole, Mexican rice, and a bundt cake.
Oh yeah, and the desserts.
Bread pudding.
Also a crumb cake. Anything that you can cook on your stove at home, we can cook in a Dutch oven with one exception.
And that is ice cream. And Rick Alexander proved that out here one day.
Can't cook ice cream on your stove at home, but I can make it in a Dutch oven.
He made ice cream in a Dutch oven. You sure did.
There's always a lot of variety. There's a lot of different dishes.
And then I'll add my secret spices to it. And it's really not secret, it's just garlic salt, onion flakes, oregano.
You reckon I could try that when you're done?
Yes, sir.
All right. The skills that they're teaching are skills that have been used for literally hundreds of years. This is the same sort of cooking that someone may have done on the Chisholm Trail, which runs right through here. It's
kind of associated with the cook on the cattle drives, on the chuck wagon.
The ovens came west with the pioneers.
When pioneers and travelers would travel across the United States, it was a quick and easy way to use the coals from your fire to make an oven out of a pot. And it's been modified and tweaked and perfected since then, but it's still the same basic techniques. Those techniques still work very, very well today.
This type of cooking is a little more precise in that you're using briquettes. They put out a certain amount of heat. You can use a certain number of briquettes and get real precise with your heating. They call these camp Dutch ovens. Okay. So if it has the ring in the legs, it's called a camp Dutch oven. And they put the ring on there so it'll hold the charcoal.
They've been coming here for years, teaching Dutch oven techniques and sharing their experience and sharing their food with visitors here at the park.
The number of coals in that ring, it's pretty close to the diameter of the pot plus 4. It's not really complicated. It's just, there's just a few tricks and things that you learn to do that makes all the difference in the world as to whether or not you burn something, whether you get it completely done.
We'll let that simmer there for a little while.
It takes about 15 to 20 briquettes to cook your entire dinner. Add one to the top and one to the bottom for 25 degrees. These people are absolutely amazing.
That looks really good.
Just after noon, cooking is complete, and pots are lined up buffet style. Some curious visitors, perhaps drawn by delicious aromas, are welcomed to join.
We're eating lunch. You want some lunch? You're welcome. It's all cooked in the Dutch oven. Yeah, go right ahead. And you're welcome to eat with us.
They always invite people to try what they have cooked, to call them, email them, and learn the trade. They've been asked to do this demonstration monthly somewhere else, and they choose to keep coming back here to their park, Cleburne State Park. And we're just thankful to have them.
Recipes and laughs are shared, and a few new folks are introduced to an old way of cooking.
The food is really good. We have a lot of fun, cooking outdoors. I think the number one thing is just the people. Food, fun, and fellowship, that's what it's all about.
Needless to say, no one leaves with an empty stomach.
I like to say if you come to one of our events and you go home hungry, you're not doing it right.
There's a lot of life along this river. This is really a magical place for me. I just love to be here all the time. I'm Caleb Helsel. I live in Austin, Texas. I've been a birder for 6 or 7 years. Bird watching's been a long-time hobby of mine. One summer, I saw these people with big cameras, but they weren't looking at birds, they were looking at dragonflies. So that made me curious. What kind of species are around here that these people are seeing that are so interesting? And that just got me down the path of curiosity. There's an abundance of water here. Kind of along a river the whole way with several ponds that attract a bunch of wildlife. Dragonflies like to lay their eggs in bodies of water. As those eggs develop, they'll grow into nymphs, which are also hunters like the adult dragonflies. And they live the first part of their lives underwater hunting other aquatic insects. And then when they're ready, they'll climb out of the water and turn into a dragonfly, which will fly around and hunt things like mosquitoes, gnats, and even other dragonflies, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this is a male great blue skimmer right here. Wow. I think I've seen over 100 species of dragonflies. Every time I see a new one, it's just a little bit of enjoyment for me. Let's see if I can catch it. Got him. Let's have a look. So be gentle. You gotta make sure you hold them so that you don't harm them. They sure are pretty. This guy's a Rambar's forktail. I'm gonna let him go. Whee! It's just nice to get intimate, close views of a dragonfly actually in your hand. When I started dragonflies, I couldn't recognize any species at all that I was seeing. But over time, I eventually kind of got familiar with the species in my area and was able to recognize all the species that I'm looking at. This guy is a blue dasher. I use iNaturalist. It's an app and a website for people to post sightings of anything they see in nature, and experts will give opinions about what species you're seeing, but eventually that knowledge actually builds up and you will become an expert on the species that you're seeing, and eventually you'll just be able to see it in the field and know what you're seeing. It's always fun to discover uncommon ones that aren't regular for an area.
I am John Abbott, Chief Curator and Director of Research and Collections for the University of Alabama Museums.
My name is Kendra Abbott, and I'm an ecologist. What really gets me excited, what really wakes me up in the morning is like discovery. It's like being in the 1800s with Darwin, you know, traveling around the world and figuring out where species are, where they aren't, although Darwin didn't have a lot of the tools that we have today.
Oh yeah, look at the river.
Yeah, it looks nice.
You can see our Pedogomphus utani here for sure. So there are 250 species of dragonflies and damselflies, or odonates, known in Texas, and some of them are rarer than others. And so what we're trying to do is better document some of those more rare or rarely seen species as a way to figure out if they need conservation help. If a dragonfly is around in the water, it's shedding DNA. And so we use this machine called an Andy to filter the DNA out of the water, and we'll be able to pick that up. Even little particles of DNA, we'll be able to pick that up.
Where we'll pull up about a liter of water. We will collect the DNA on a filter paper in here.
Then we will go back to the lab using the set of what are called primers, select for dragonflies and the specific ones we're looking for, amplify them and compare that DNA to these known libraries of DNA out there to determine what's here.
We could spend like 10 weeks looking for this species, trying to find the nymphs in the water, but in just 30 minutes we could sample the water and the soil and then say, hey, you know what, our Pedogomphus is here. So I'm just gonna grab a soil sample because we might find the DNA in the soil if we miss it in the water.
It's much more efficient in terms of just the amount of time it takes to potentially get an idea of what dragonfly species are here. It can detect potentially really rare species, and we're not having to kill anything. We're actually just literally filtering the DNA out of the water.
I really love using tools like environmental DNA to be able to really figure out what's happening with these rare species. What is their range? Where are they? Can we find them this year and then maybe we don't find them in 5 years? And then we know, hey, we really need to focus on conserving this species. Something's changed in this habitat that doesn't allow it to persist anymore.
Dragonflies are oftentimes the one that really gets people hopping and excited. It pulls people over from studying birds and from studying butterflies, just because it's such a new group that hasn't received so much attention in the past. There's a real opportunity for enthusiasts to contribute real science.
Oh, male roseate skimmer on this twig. You can just keep going to a place, and the more times you go there, the more chances you'll have at finding a larger variety of different species. This here is an American ruby spot. It's a kind of damselfly, and you can usually tell the difference between dragonflies and damselflies by the way they hold their wings when they're perched. So damselflies like this will usually hold their wings close together and straight up over their backs, while dragonflies will usually have their wings spread out so you can see all 4 of them. Before, I was just looking for birds, but now I have a whole nother species to look for. I don't know if I could get burned out. I mean, if I see all the dragonfly species, I can start looking at the butterfly species and the plant species. There's always more to learn.
We are in southern Atascosa County, which is approximately 60 miles south of San Antonio, Texas. What makes it special is the heritage. I am the 4th generation, and I think that's really special that through all the hard times and hardships that we've been able to keep it together as a working ranch. So we're over 100 years old. And it came through a line of only daughters. My grandmother was an only daughter, my mom was an only daughter, and I am an only daughter. It's not just land to me, it's family. This is a 1922 picture of my great-grandmother, who is one of the first people that started buying parcels of land here, with my grandmother on horseback here on the ranch. Purchases of the ranch started in 1916, and they started buying 20-acre tracts, so the ranch was not bought as a big parcel. It was pieced together, traded to be what it is today. And since that time, my husband and I have added another 1,300 acres of adjoining ranch land to complement what we already had. Well, these mesquites are just starting to bud out. Document that for our spraying. 45 days post bud out.
This is South Texas brush ecosystem. It's made up of lots of different soil types and a lot of different brush species, mesquite trees to guajillo to lots of different species that provide a lot of habitat for wildlife.
All we need is some rain now.
Yeah, we need some rain.
Just some rain.
Some of the challenges are, as you can see around here, is drought. We're a very variable rainfall landscape. We also have a lot of the brush species that grow here are resprouters, and so managing the brush is very difficult.
We have done a lot of work to supply our cows with water.
The development of earthen tanks throughout the property have been exceptional. They run water lines to all of their tanks.
In the old days, Highway 16 wasn't even paved, and my great-grandmother, truly a pioneer woman also, she talked about herding cattle all the way from down here to San Antonio to Union stockyards on foot. A hardship that we wouldn't even come close to knowing about. Okay, breakfast is served.
So we'll work with landowners that care about their land and the work that they do with the community as well as on the property. And it's very apparent that Suzanne and her family care very much about the property.
I think today the sharing of knowledge is really important because we have to get out and educate on what the rural life is. We need to be in organizations that promote wildlife. We've done that through the TWA youth hunts. Sometimes it's the first time they've ever come out and been able to hunt. I love everything about this place. It's come through so many generations. To go to 5th or 6th generation, it's a challenge. So I hope that my children will appreciate it, and I hope that I can pass that along. That's my hope, is that they will find the enjoyment and the love of the land like I have.
We got up just like at regular time to go to school, but Jonah was lucky. We pulled him out of school to do some real life hunter's education. All right, ready to roll? Drove down from the North Dallas area, had some good father-son bonding time on the way here. We moved down to Texas about 5 years ago, and kind of making the shift from hunting in Iowa to hunting in Texas has been a big change. Living in a major metro, you have to put in some effort to make those kind of experiences happen. So this is affordable and gives you access to places you would never get otherwise.
We're here in Lampasas County to do a youth hunt with the Texas Youth Hunting Program.
So push your palms to the sky. It stretches all those tendons and all those muscles that you're going to use to draw any type of bow.
Texas Youth Hunting Program exists to help kids that are interested in hunting get started.
Range is hot.
If you have the interest, we have everything that you need to be able to go hunting. We'll help you have a place to go. We'll help you learn what you need to know. We can give you the gear you need. A little bit more of an involved event than a lot of our hunts because bow hunting is a little bit more complicated.
You're changing your point of aim to adjust your point of impact.
You have to be a ninja. Yeah, it's basically
You gotta be sneaky, right? Like, gotta creep in there and be set up before they come around.
Bow hunters are a curious group of people. We are choosing to make everything harder.
Ooh, nice. Right, your form is perfect.
So it takes a little more preparation, takes a little more thought sometimes into what we're doing and how we're doing it.
With everybody watching too, that's not hard, right? Good job, Jonah.
I think it's pretty cool to have like the base camp experience. A lot of kids don't get that these days.
When you walk down the fence line, you won't have a problem seeing.
They don't get to experience being around other parents that are interested in outdoor activities.
There's something on the road up there. I've shot a bow before, but this is my first time bow hunting.
It's raining. It's like sleet.
I like the extra challenge. I like to challenge myself in a lot of situations to test my limits and see what I can do.
If we were buck hunting, we could put like a doe lure in that area, and if they hear that call and they catch that wind, they'll come running right in. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes and pops out in the same spot as that other guy.
Excited. I'm hoping we'll see a doe, because we saw a buck earlier. He wasn't legal to shoot. Oh, there she comes.
Did you see her again?
She's walking out right now.
Turn your bow up vertical when you get a chance.
Yeah.
Get it vertical and get ready.
She stopped. The feeder wobbled.
She probably winded us.
Didn't get a chance, but I was really excited. My heart was pounding, felt kind of jittery.
Could you hear your own heart?
No, but I could feel it.
That's awesome. You can hear him crunching the corn. The veterinarian said he needed to get braces.
That one?
Yeah. You know why? They said he has buck teeth. I don't think you like my joke.
No.
Anytime you're out hunting is better than any other day for the most part. Besides your wedding day, or your wife's birthday, or your anniversary. Oh, I said that, your wedding day. Did I get my anniversary? Yeah. I think about it more about like filling your heart and mind with memories than your freezer with meat. I know we'll look back 20 years later and say, oh, you remember that time we went out with all those crazy guys and got to do some deer hunting? Like, that'll be what we talk about.
Next time on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
This spring break, I decided to try something a little bit new and go on a backpacking trip. We'll see how it goes.
Even though you can be sitting in the campground with 50 other campers, you only walk 100 yards, and you're gonna be all alone in the woods.
It's got a small little shoot area, great for children that are like 12 and under that want to float a river that's not too hectic.
That's next time on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is supported in part by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, conserving the wild things and wild places of Texas thanks to members across the state.
Additional funding provided by the Toyota Tundra. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support outdoor recreation and conservation in Texas. Adventure, it's what we share. Funding also provided by Academy Sports and Outdoors, helping hunters, anglers, and outdoor enthusiasts of all ages get outside. Out here, fun can't lose.